tennis, also known as ping pong or wiff-waff, is a racket sport derived from tennis but distinguished by its playing surface being atop a stationary table, rather than the court on which players stand. The object is to hit the ball so it goes over the net and bounces on the opponent's half of the table in such a way that the opponents cannot reach it or return it correctly. The lightweight hollow ball is propelled back and forth across the net by small rackets held by the players. The game is popular all over the world. In most countries, it is very highly organized as a competitive sport, especially in Europe and Asia, particularly in China and Japan. The game was invented in England in the early days of the 20th century and was originally called ping pong, a trade name. The name table tennis was adopted in the 1921 to 22 when the old Ping Pong Association formed in 1902 was revived. The original association had broken up about 1905, though apparently the game continued to be played in parts of England outside London and by the 1920s was played in many countries.
Hi everyone, good day. By the way, my name is Edathar Likin, and for today's video, I am going to show you the 5 basic rules in playing table tennis. Are you ready? Just keep watching this video.
If you are an aspiring table tennis player, it is always important to know all of the rules of the game and understand them. Generally speaking, most people find the rules easy to comprehend as they are similar to other closely related racket sports. So I'll give you the 5 basic rules in playing and showing the basic rules of playing table tennis that everyone can understand. Number 1. No hands on the table. Believe it or not, leaning your hands on the table is not allowed in the sport. So you should never touch the table with your hands. If you do so, you will lose a point. If you have ever played table tennis, you probably know that this is a common practice, especially when the ball is high in the air and bouncing and you want to smash it in the opponent's part of the table. Number 2. When serving, the ball must be thrown 16 cm. Another rule which you may not know about the game is that the ball must be thrown at least 16 cm in height while serving. Obviously, this kind of toss is a good habit, and what it means is that you must throw it at least 16 cm into the air from the flat palm of your hand before it is being hit. You are also not allowed to throw the ball in any way which adds spin to it. Number 3. If the ball hits the net on service, you should serve again. Sometimes, when you serve the ball in table tennis, it hits the net and either falls in your part or the opponent's part of the table. If this happens, you should know that the official rule is to reserve and replay their serve. There is no actual limit to how many nets a player can have on first serve, but the general rule sticks to 3 in total before a point is lost. Number 4. The ball must be held in a flat palm above the table. When preparing to serve, you need to hold the ball flat in the palm of your hand and above the table, all in order to ensure that the opponent and the umpire can clearly see it as well as the direction in which it is thrown or held. Number 5. Rubber colors. Last but not the least is the rubber and its colors. If you ever held a table tennis paddle, you probably know that one of the sides has a black rubber and the other has a red one. This is only to ensure that the opposing player knows what to expect when they serve, with either the black or red rubber, as well as to prevent any confusion.
Table tennis is a sport like tennis but different. To talk about the differences, the racket and ball is different. It is played with a plastic ball, a small ball, and racket is also small, and it doesn't have string. It's made up of wooden and it has a rubber on both the sides. So if you look at this racket, plastic ball, it's made up of wood and it has a rubber. Rubber is there so that you can make some spins with the plastic ball. Table tennis is played on a table and it has a net, and net divides court into two parts. If we look at the table from side, this is how it looks like. The table is divided into two parts by the net. On the one side you are in the black uniform and you have your opponent in the blue side. Now the service in table tennis is very different. When you're serving, you toss the ball, you hit the ball by your racket, and it should bounce on your side of the table first, then go over the net, and it should bounce on your opponent's side. Very different from tennis. So ball should bounce on your side first and then on the opponent's side only during serve. After you have served, if your opponent is trying to hit the ball, he needs to hit the ball onto your side. If opponent hits the ball on his side, then that is wrong. So opponent need to hit the ball on your side, and then you need to hit the ball on your opponent's side, and the game goes on like that. So you're wondering, how do you win points? Let's talk about that stuff. You can hit a very fast shot and your opponent is not able to make a contact, that is a winner. Another way to win a point is two bounces. So if your opponent hits the ball after the ball has made two bounces on the table, it's called double bounce and you win the point. Another way is if your opponent hits the ball and it doesn't bounce on the table, that would be an outside and you would win the point. Another case is opponent hits the ball into the net. In that case also you would win the point. So these are all the ways in which you can win the points in table tennis. One thing I would like to bring to your attention is when you are serving, if ball hits the net and go to the other side, it's called as let, and in that case you would reserve it. But if you're playing a point and this happened, that's fine, you just continue the game.
That's all for today. Thank you.
We here in scoring time. If you serve and not catch the opponent, 1 point for you. You done to serve 2, and that is the opponent turn to serve. After the opponent to serve, the ball back to you. If you got 11 points, you win the game. And in game 1, you have 1 point. Because you win the game 1, the opponent have chance to serve. In game 3, you always win and the opponent 0 point. You are considered a winner. Player E got 11. Player B got 9. Player E a winner because the difference is 2 points. Player E got 11. Player B got 9. And the difference is 1. Player E is not considered a winner. Player E need to got 1 points to win. Player E got 12. Player B got 10. The difference is 2. Player E is win. Player E and B got 11 points. The difference is 0. Both of the players need 2 points to win. Player E got 13 points. Player B got 11 points. The difference is 2. The winner is player E.
The forehand drive is one of the main attacking shots used in table tennis. It has a little bit of topspin on it, but mainly it's a flat hit. Very powerful. You'd normally play the forehand drive close to the table when your opponent's return is a little high, although some players are really good at hitting drive shots off low balls too. If played with a lot of acceleration, the forehand drive will often be a winning shot which your opponent will not be able to return. So let's take a closer look at this shot. Here I am playing a forehand drive rally. Let's look at the stance. Notice how my legs are nice and wide, knees bent, bum out, crouching forward, with my left foot slightly further forward than the right foot. This gives me a very stable stance to move, hit and recover. Okay, let's look at the stroke action. As the ball comes over the net, I am rotating backwards from my waist and then accelerating forward. So rather than just using my arm to play the shot, I'm using my waist too, which means I can play a more powerful shot. My bat is starting around waist height, moving forward and up and finishing in front of my body. So really, I'm lifting the ball over the net rather than hitting down on the ball. But crucially, my bat angle is slightly closed, which means my playing side is facing towards the table. So even though I'm hitting up, the bat angle helps me keep the ball lower over the net. I'm hitting the ball in the middle of my bat, so it's quite a flat hit and it makes kind of a thwack sound. And look at when I hit the ball. I'm hitting the ball when it's at the top of the bounce. Because there's not much spin when we play a drive shot, we want to hit the ball at its highest point, which gives us the biggest margin to get the ball over the net. So, to recap, when playing the forehand drive, you need a low stance, rotate backwards from the waist, the bat moves forwards and up with the bat angle slightly closed. You're going to hit the ball just in front of your body and finish the stroke in the middle. A mistake some players make when playing the forehand drive is their arm crossing their body. If your arm goes all the way over here, to play another forehand, your arm has to travel all the way back, and this is going to slow you down. Because table tennis is such a fast game, we need to cut out any unnecessary movement. So ideally, your arm should finish in front of your body like this, and not across your body like this. In this clip, my arm is going all the way across my body. This extra movement I'm putting into the stroke means I'm too slow recovering for the next stroke and I can't sustain the rally. Whereas in this clip, I'm finishing in front of my body. So my recovery is quicker and I can keep the rally going for much longer. So get into the habit of finishing the forehand drive in front of the body. When learning the forehand drive, focus on consistency first rather than trying to hit the ball really hard. Aim for 10 forehand drives without error to begin with, then build up to 25, 50, 100. When you can play this shot consistently, then you can start adding in a bit more power. And to get that extra power, play the shot in the same way. The same backswing, the same finishing point, but accelerate your arm forward quicker. And this will create more speed and more power. In this training drill, I'm playing 2 forehand drives cross court and 2 forehand drives down the line. It really helps to practice playing the forehand drive to different positions. I think too often players just practice cross court and they become very good at this, but they aren't anywhere near as good playing down the line. So make sure you practice playing the forehand drive down the line too. When switching from cross court to down the line, you are going to have to adjust your body position. Notice how I'm rotating my waist a little bit more for the shots down the line. This gives me a better angle to hit the ball straight down the line. And notice how my bat is finishing in the direction I want the ball to go. You can do this drill in different ways. You could do 3 cross court, 3 down the line, or you could do 1 cross court, 1 down the line, or you could mix up the numbers, so you could do 1 cross court, 2 down the line, or 3 cross court, 1 down the line. There's lots you can do with this drill. In this training drill, I'm playing 1 forehand drive from the forehand side and 1 forehand drive from the middle. This is a great exercise to help you improve your footwork when playing the forehand drive. A lot of players struggle to play good forehand strokes from the middle because they don't move. So this exercise will help you practice this movement. The key is to really make sure you move enough. Notice the position of my left leg when I'm playing a forehand drive from the middle. It's actually outside the width of the table. I've moved that far to make space to play a strong forehand drive from the middle. Anything less and I'm going to be playing the shot too close to my body and the shot's going to be weaker. When you get good at this, you can try doing the drill faster or try playing forehand drives from 3 positions. The forehand side, the middle and the backhand side. In this training drill we're playing forehand drive to forehand drive, but to any position on the forehand side of the table. This drill is more difficult because you don't know where the ball is going, but it's a great way to improve your reactions, your footwork and your ball placement. The key here is to keep an eye on your opponent's bat. This will give you the clue as to where the ball is going and you can react quickly. If you wait until the ball is already over the net, you're going to struggle to react in time. And make sure you're on the balls of your feet, as you're going to have to be ready to move for every shot. To begin with, just play on half a table. To make it harder, play on 2/3 of the table. And don't worry about playing with too much power, just try to beat your opponent by keeping them moving and placing the ball out of their reach.
Exercise for ping pong that you must do.